Alrighty, here is that next one. I am playing Wargreymon X-antibody, going up against that same friend from the last time, Magnamon X-antibody. And you could already see in my hand, well, I'm going for the mulligan right there, but that is one of my spicy techs. That's level 6, I think it's called Crimson Blaze, and this is an even worse looking hand, because I have to start off with the Greymon on play, giving him 5 memory to work with immediately, so already not looking too good. Builds up into the Patamon and raising, builds up into, well, he's thinking about it, Pegasusmon, and then plays out a search, and, well, he's just getting a lot done with all the memory that I was kind of forced to give him there. So, gets his search off with that Armadillomon as he goes up into the Submarinemon, only gives me 2 memory to work with. You can see I have 2 removals in my hand. Find the Agumon, find a cool boy. So I'm actually getting super efficient here. Find another cool boy, but we miss. Don't find any X-antibodies. Go up into the Greymon X-antibody, gain a memory, draw an extra card, and, well, I still don't really have much to do here, and I think my best play is just going to be that Metal Greymon going up for giving him 2 memory over, and again, this is already kind of scary because we can see he has the Patamon, he can Jogress at the end of the turn into the Shakomon, can bounce that Metal Greymon in a little bit, and all that work will have been for nothing, but I figured getting that extra card draw might be a little more valuable than, you know, playing out the tie and having that set. He plays the Fire Rocket, goes into attacking, Armor Purge dies, and then the Delicate Plan goes to my hand, so he doesn't completely lose that Armadillomon, which is good for him because he goes up into the Magnamon, and then he restands, does not Jogress at the end of the turn. Oh wait, nope, here it comes. There it is, into Chimeramon. So he doesn't have the Shakomon, it's only the Chimeramon. Gives minus whatever K to my Metal Greymon, which to me, in the end, it doesn't really matter. Play out an Agumon for a search. I'm trying to find Metal Greymon X-antibody, but I find another regular Greymon. Here I'm going to go into X-antibody underneath because I am going to attack and digivolve into Wargreymon X-antibody, swinging into security for just 1 check. And yeah, that was just me reading the card. 1 check, and then I get to delete a Digimon at the end of my attack with DP lower than Wargreymon X-antibody. So I get to just clear out his board, and I forgot to give myself 1 memory for removing a card from his security stack, so a little bit of a misplay right there, which allows him to get out 2 very solid cards. But the fact that I was able to wipe his board and just get rid of that Chimeramon is a huge boon, because now I'm going to be able to, you know, start exerting more control. You can see I do have the 2 Gaia Force Zeros as preparation. Go up into the Wargreymon Agumon X-antibody for free. I get to draw 2, gain a memory, and then search with that Agumon, and it helps me find a Greymon, which I will go for the Greymon that does a discount, even though I don't really have a something out right now. But you can see I am trying to decide what to do. Go up into that Greymon for 1 memory. I forgot to restand my Wargrey X-antibody earlier, so looking to see what to do next. You can see I have the Metal Grey X-antibody in my hand, swinging with Wargreymon. It survives, I get to gain that memory, and debating on what I want to do, play out the tie, give him 2, because he's going to get to set to 3 anyway. And now I do have that extra security attack, so if the Wargreymon takes out 2 things, it'll take out 2 memory. So looking pretty good on that. He pops his memory boost to give himself more memory right here, goes up into the Magnamon. And, pardon me, trying to see just how much he's buffed by. As he decides to go into the Armadillomon for another search, finds Shakomon, and then throws 2 options and a Tamer to the bottom, which is not a good look for him. But here I do have a lot of advantage on my side. You can see I am going to unsuspend, play out an Agumon, still on a search, find another Wargrey X-antibody, which I could technically digivolve on top of my Wargrey X-antibody again. Draw 2 cards, get the search now, and I find an X-antibody No Greymons though, but I do find the singular X-antibody, which will help me out probably in the future. But I am going to do that swing in with Wargrey X-antibody, gain a memory, end of the attack. I get to pop one of his Digimon. Oh, I also get another security check from the tie, but again, I forget that it is every single card removed from security, but it doesn't really matter because I go out swinging, which I think I misplayed right there and cheated. I don't think I should have been able to swing with that Agumon X-antibody because I had just played that Agumon. But, I mean, the comeback on his side would have been very difficult, and I had something in raising that could have swung out anyway. So, again, a little bit of a misplay, but in the end, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think he would have been able to clear my board entirely. So he leads off with Patamon going into TK in this game too, and this is going to be a slog of a game because the entire time I basically just can't find the right build up. Like, I can build up, but it's not ideal, and I think that's something I need to work on, is just going into what I have and not thinking like, oh, I want to build up like X-antibody on top of everything. But you can see I'm already building that fat stack, and I'm kind of waiting for that Metal Greymon X-antibody. But you can see I have 3 Agumons in my hand, and I don't have a Wargreymon X-antibody either, but that is a huge and scary stack I have. He gets to play for 3. That Armadillomon gets the search, finds the Pegasusmon. He keeps his Patamon down in raising as well, so might try to move that up next turn for a wacky play for the Jogress at end of turn. I only get 2 memory now, and this is where I decide to push up with this fat stack and see if I can do anything. So I will play out the Agumon for 3, trying for a search. There is the Wargrey X-antibody, so I can start doing stuff in a little bit. But now I have to worry, oh, is it going to go up into the Shakomon, which the Digivolves, and it is looking to be about that time for a Jogress, but I don't know if he actually has it or not. So he will indeed go up into the Jogress. It is going to be the Shakomon. He does recover 2/6 security, and he bounces the Metal Greymon, which I might have been able to prevent with that Agumon, or that Greymon X-antibody. But he swings into security, and it is an Omnimon, so now we're both left with pretty much empty boards, except his board state is a little bit better, because he has the Vmon and the TK. Now it's time for me to start building up again. I have the other Omnimon in hand, Agumon, Agumon X, and, well, there are some Metal Greymon X-antibodies that I was looking for, but I just play out the Agumon, looking for the Greymon X-antibody, which I don't think I have a regular Greymon in hand, and, well, it's not like I have a cool boy either to be able to take advantage of all that. So just trying to look for that next step so I can Digivolve up while he plays out an Armadillomon, finds that Magnamon X, and, well, I don't really have anything threatening on board, but he does go up into the Submarinmon. It does have Armor Purge. It does kill my Agumon, which I wasn't really going to do much with anyway, except to try to use the Agumon X-antibody. So it is my turn. I push out of raising. I go up into, in just a second. Well, actually, I'm going to do the Crimson Blaze. Clear out 2 of his Digimon, or at least purge the armor off of one of them, make it a little less scary, but now once again opens up my Agumon to being removed. I didn't need to push it out, but I was thinking to myself, if it stays on the board, I can get another baby in raising, get a free Digi-evolution, and then see if I can't find another Greymon, and then start going off with, you know, Greymon X-antibody, Metal Greymon X-antibody, that kind of thing. And that is exactly what I am able to do, but I don't find that Metal Greymon, or that's a regular Greymon. So you can see I'm deciding what I want to do. I go up into the Greymon X-antibody in raising, and you can see I have another Gaia Force 0 in hand. But I just not being able to find the perfect pieces, can't find the perfect line, and I can't really swing in with that Agumon X either. So he plays out the Armadillomon, Jogresses into Shakomon, which is going to, this is where the misplay comes in because he has 6 memory, so he shouldn't be able to recover right there. So, I mean, he does get to bounce my Magnamon X-antibody, which is, you know, not a bad thing. But from here, he does, he's not supposed to be able to recover again up to 7, but either way, he would have had 6 security and go up into that Magnamon X, which is very scary. I push up again, go into Metal Gray, and then this is where I will do Metal Greymon X-antibody. Looking for something. Metal Greymon X-antibody again, still looking for something. If I found the X-antibody card, that would have been great, but instead, what happens here is I go into the Crimson Blaze to pop his Magnamon X and get the swing because he digivolved twice into 2 Metal Greymons. He has 2 additional security checks, so that is what we're trying to measure out now. 2 checks at like 14k or something, so he gets to or 3 checks rather, so he does, you know, take out a lot, but he just puts that back into his hand because of that option card I hit in security as well, so he's just going to be able to go right back up into it and probably swing through because I gave him so much memory to work with, and I probably should have gone into like the Wargrey Blitz and just left it on board. I mean, he could have redirected the attack to himself and then it wouldn't have had piercing, and I don't get the deletion effect because it's an armor purge. The deletion doesn't actually happen. It's not the same as deleting a Digimon when you purge the armor. But you can see he actually opts to take out his own TK, goes up into a Jogress here for another Shakomon, so he's going to be able to recover 1 right there, bounce my Metal Gray, which I'm going to prevent by trashing 2 underneath because of the effect of the Greymon X-antibody. Like I said, I did misplay that a little bit earlier. I could have kept my guy on board, but, you know, it is what it is. He Hammer Sparks to get 1 more memory, and then goes up into the Magnamon X again, which is very scary, and goes up into a second Magnamon X. So he has a lot of ways to redirect attacks and just keep things on board. It doesn't look good for your boy. Digivolve into the Agumon, finally find that Greymon, where we go up into it for 2. Go up into the Greymon X-antibody, building up a big board right now. X-antibody underneath so I can attack and then digivolve into Wargrey X-antibody. So take out 1 of his security. I gain 1 memory, and I forgot to pay for the Digi-evolution cost of Wargreymon X-antibody. So we're really misplaying hard in this game, but you're going to see later it doesn't really matter because now, I play out this tie, and, you know, that will give me an additional security check, but he will just be able to swing in DP depletion, but he does, you know, hit that Wargrey in security. His own Magnamon X-antibody goes back, and then he swings through my Wargreymon, so, you know, my little bit of cheating is, you know, I paid the price right there. And again, this is just a friendly match, kind of just to showcase, you know, how strong these decks are. Then he goes into the Ordini fall down mode, another recovery, and he's back up to 7 security. I push up because I have a lot of Agumons, and I'm like, okay, if I have a baby, I can, you know, use that. And then I blew my load with all of those Metal Gray X-antibodies, so now I kind of just have to sit here and be like, what do I do? So my Metal Greymon actually isn't strong enough to go through the Shakomon. So I just opt to play out. I do find the Metal Greymon X, and, you know, that will help a lot if this Metal Greymon can stay on the board, because I'd have a huge line underneath it. It's going to get the security +1 from the tie. It's going to get security +1 from another Digi-evolution. Goes up into the Cody, has a Patamon and Raising, swings into security. DP reduces my my guy to death, and then I also kill his Ordinimon because it's another Wargreymon in security. And you can see I have the Wargreymon Classic, which I was actually thinking about taking out for a different Wargreymon, but you're going to see in Game 3 because it's pretty obvious that we're going to get to Game 3 in a little bit. that I have a really funny spicy tech with it. So you can also see I never find a cool boy. I go up into the Magnamon X-antibody. I do find the Wargreymon X-antibody because now I'm going to be able to start building up the Wargreymon for 1, Wargreymon X-antibody, draw again, X-antibody card. Deciding, you know, what to do, what to look for. I don't have any of my cool boys, and if I did, I would have been able to have at least, you know, one more little search or something, but, you know, it's a big struggle right now trying to find something to go up into that will stay on the board. So I go up into another Metal Greymon, don't really find much to do. My deck is starting to run thin, my security is starting to run thin. He swings for security, there's the cool boy, and there's the game. So yeah, just could not find the perfect line up to be able to start, you know, taking control of the game. Kept on being dealt with, and that is the idea behind this Magnamon deck, is to go for the long game, go for the kind of control armor purge, just be really sticky on the board, unable to be moved off. And you can see I'm keeping a risky hand here in game 3, Agumon, and then a level 5 and a level 7. So you can actually see I do find the Greymon, which I don't get the when Digi-Evolution effect in Raising because it is in Raising and no effects happen down there. So he goes up into the yellow memory boost, finds the, you know, trying to decide which one he wants to find. Goes for the Magnamon X. Goodbye, Magnamon, and goodbye, Shakomon. We're not going to see you for a little while. I have 2 ties in hand, so I say, you know what? I'm going to set up. I'm going to go for the long game, too. I have a tamer now, and he is a setter. I think I might need a 3rd red tie just for more consistency when it comes to having a setter. But at the same time, if you have a bunch of cool boys, you get a lot of pretty good value out of, you know, an additional Digivolve and then additional 1. But he does warp up into that Magnamon X-antibody, plays another yellow memory boost, and there goes his Fire Rocket, finds another Magnamon X-antibody. And I am sitting here thinking, you know what, I really don't have anything to go up into right now. I don't have the level 6, my level 5. If I had, like, another X-antibody Metal Greymon, then I might consider it. But I play out the tie instead, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to play it slow. He's only going to be pinging me for 1 over and over and over again, and even so, he might hit something in security that purges itself, which he doesn't. He hits the Metal Greymon X-antibody, which is what I'm kind of waiting for and looking for. Goes up 2-3 to search again. And that's kind of the struggle with some of these decks, where they only hit you for 1 over time. Whereas some of the other combo decks, like the new purple-yellow combo, is like it shits 3 things onto the board, and then you get a bunch of attacks through them. Or the red, which is, you know, just like security +5, or the Alphamon, which you swing 3 times for security +5. So it's a lot. Here I go up into the Metal Greymon, and then I blitz into the Wargreymon Blitz. So he deletes the blocker, and then I'm going into the Magnamon X. So, well, he doesn't actually delete the blocker, he just gets rid of the armor purge. But that is what happens when Wargreymon Classic goes in. He deletes the blocker, which there isn't too much blocker going around in the meta right now, but I feel like that could be a spicy tech. But that's not the spicy tech I'm talking about just yet. And I swung into his Magnamon X to try to just, you know, just get it out of the way a little bit, because I didn't want him swinging into my guy or DP reducing or doing some shenanigans. But now he does go into the Pegasusmon. He is going to Jogress into Shakomon. We can see he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is where we're actually told that he can't, or rather, we're not told it yet, but later in this game he is told that he can't actually recover with the Shakomon. Yeah, you can see the finger right there. The Shakomon can't recover, and he's already drawn, so a little bit of a misplay, but he still can bounce the Wargreymon because he had 6 security, so he could still bounce it, but he can't recover. So he just puts the card on the top of his deck again because it was going to be on the top of his deck. It's a little bit of a cheat, but, you know, we're all friends here. It's fine. We don't really care, but, you know, if it were a tournament, it would matter. But now he does swing in, hits my Wargreymon X-antibody, And now, even though I'm kind of left with nothing, I'm still only at 3 security. He doesn't have a tamer, so I'm not afraid of a hybrid. I would just go down to 1, so I'm not too worried for my life just yet. Search for the Agumon. I hit a Wargrey X-antibody, and that is going to be the curve topper here, but getting there is going to be a little difficult. Digivolve for 2 in raising, and there you can see, oh, there's the actual Greymon I would want to put on top of the Agumon in raising. So sucks to see that, but I mean, I still do have the 2 red ties down, and they are going to put in work later on. Again, we can see he has 2 Digimon on the board, swings in with the Armor Purge. I find a Cool Boy, which gets me the search, find the X-antibody, and that is going to be very helpful for us. And he swings in with the Shakomon, bounces, dies. And now I am down to 1 security. He has a Digimon on board. He has the Digimon in raising. So this is getting pretty dicey for me. It is a little scary, especially if he were to have played another Digimon or something. But what happens here is he plays the Kairi, or I think that's what it is. I go up into the Metal Greymon X-antibody. I put X-antibody underneath, and then this is where the fun happens. So what's going to happen here is I swing in, well, yeah, I swing in with the Blitz Classic Collection. And then, because I am attacking with Blitz, I am going to use the X-antibody effect to go up into the Wargreymon X-antibody on his turn. Cool Boy to regain the memory. And now he is swinging into security for 2 tie checks, and then the Digi-evolution from the Metal Greymon X-antibody. So he's going for 4 checks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I gain 4 memory for each card removed from security. So it's still my turn, which is insane. Like, and then I clear his board, and then I go into the Agumon X-antibody for the search. Like, that was just an insane move, and you can see I pick up the Omnimon Blitz. So you know next turn, if he can't remove this Wargreymon, it is gonna be all over. And I mean, I had another Omnimon already in my hand, so that's just a little bit of icing on the cake. It is his turn now. Again, I do have 2 security. If he has that tamer or that hybrid, I do lose this game. But he pushes up, or does he push up? He still has 3 security, but because of those 2 ties, I am checking for just base 2. And then I have the other Greymon out, so he goes up into his TK, looks at his security, wonders, will anything in here save me from the impending doom? Takes the Magnamon X, hopes that whatever he recovers into gives him something, gains the memory from the other yellow tamer, so it is technically still his turn, and his final play, his last cry for help, is going to be a Cody. So now I restand, I swing, or I delicate plan to make sure nothing happens now. 1 check. Oh yeah, this is where we're talking about the errata of a delicate plan, but we get the 3 checks, get 3 security, Omnimon Blitz for game, and honestly, you know, after playing these decks a lot and learning all of the misplays we've been doing, it is pretty interesting to see how these decks work, and I don't know what it is about this meta, but I am really excited to play in this meta. I still don't know what deck I want to use at my local tournaments, whether it's the Wargreymon, whether it's the Alphamon, whether it's the Death X, but whatever I play, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.